The Manikin, or as it's also listed, Mr. Viggs is the Manikin, is a 2006 short film which was shot at West Edmonton Mall. It's a modern production in the style of silent film, think Buster Keaton or Charlie Chaplin, but filmed in the current millennium. There's no audible dialogue, but rather music and sound effects, cut together with intertitle cards representing said dialogue, or even descriptions of events and internal character thoughts. Original silent films were productions limited by their era, film recordings with no reliable or viable way to capture sound. These were often played in theaters with a live piano player providing the score. Whether the scene called for jubilant or dramatic music, the pianist would play the intended mood of what was on the screen, be it comedic, dramatic, or what have you. This short film was shot in that same style, with what's being shown on the screen accompanied by only music and dubbed sounds. Hence, the acting is very vaudevillian, and when put together as a whole, it pulls it off. Well, not terribly, but we'll get into all that. The story takes place in West Edmonton Mall, with the opening sequence set in a store on Europa Boulevard. The titular character, Mr. Viggs, works as a clothing duster. He's going about his day when his boss instructs him to put together a mannequin. After some fumbling around, he gets it set up and promptly breaks it. This results in, as per the title of the film, Mr. Viggs taking on the role of the mannequin. Even though the subject of this film is centered around a retail shopping figure, the film's title is spelled Manikin, a spelling which is usually reserved for the type of dummy used for medical training.
No, Rose, they are not breathing, and they have no arms or legs.
While being a mannequin, he swoons over a girl on the other side of the window and decides to try to track her down. All this while avoiding his boss and the girl's moose of a date? Boyfriend? I'm not sure. But that's the gist of the plot. Mr. Viggs is running through West Edmonton Mall, and while doing so, he takes us on a tour of some amazing nostalgic memories in Edmonton's iconic shopping and attractions destination. The store used for the opening of this film was Europa Tailors. Today, Doc Martens lives in this location. The first shot outside of the store is on Europa Boulevard. If we didn't already know the store, we could tell by the shape of the cast iron rails in front of the shop. But we don't get much of a wider view of the boulevard here. Next, there's a very brief shot near the entrance to the deep-sea adventure Submarine ride. This is actually the reimagined version of the ride's entrance and control tower. The original building was themed in traditional Cape Cod architecture. Overhanging awnings, highlighted trim, and large windows are all things you'd see in the same style beachside homes and buildings. In the mid-1990s, when Fantasyland was being rethemed into Galaxyland, a new style was being brought into a few places within the mall. If I had to give it a description, I'd call it real-life cartoony. In the amusement park, oversized, comically pronounced rivets seemed to hold together colorful outer space plating. And that same styling was brought to the deep-sea adventure. Large stones and shingles, and oversized wooden pillars with very pronounced lines and knots. We can also see the same styling at Professor Wem's Adventure Golf, which is the next scene in the Manikin. Here, they pull the trope of being chased in and out of multiple pathways, with the camera remaining in a stationary shot. After this, another quick view of the Submarine attraction, followed by a scene at Game On Sports. What comes next is my absolute favorite single shot in this entire film, the inside of Circuit Circus. The Phase 3 food court arcade, whose spinning neon squares are burned into the memory of those who spent any amount of time at West Edmonton Mall from the 80s through the 2000s. I've not found any photos from within the walls of Circuit Circus, so to see the center desk, where I personally used to frequent to get tokens, was an absolute blast from the past. And that mirrored ceiling with the sunburst neon design. My gosh, how many hours did I spend playing pinball and Street Fighter in that arcade? I couldn't tell you. Next, we get a stellar shot of the West Mall 8 cinemas. We get a wide view and a somewhat zoomed view as well. I tell you, pictures only go so far. Seeing the animated neon of the arcade, the lit marquee of the theater, the box office CRT screen rolling showtimes, the bank of phone booths, it really pulls me back to those times. Next, there's an extended sequence in the food court, with the arcade exterior perfectly framed in the background. The use of neon throughout that area was really something special. Next comes a chase sequence through the mall. First, they go over the suspension bridge, back in front of the Submarine ride, and then they're in front of Galaxyland. Not much has changed from what we see here, only that this was when the party room was called Cosmo's Party Space Pad, instead of the Play-Doh party space we see it as today. A little more of that chase scene, and it ends in a crash in front of the ship. Remember when the mall used to have actual benches? Kinda makes me sad. When this seating was first put in, it was because the mall expected people to want to sit and look at everything there was to see here. It was something unique and interesting, and really, it still is. I just think we take it all for granted today. The film comes to an end with a final shot of Mr. Viggs in Phase 4, with a shot of HMV, more amazing neon, and a speaker's corner booth. Remember those? You could speak about anything, advocate for a cause, share an opinion, talk about Nirvana.
And play more Nirvana. Everybody loves Nirvana, but they don't like you.
In fact, before they eventually made it big, the Canadian band the Bare Naked Ladies got their first widespread exposure by singing "You Can Be My Yoko Ono" at his speaker's corner booth. After this shot, they roll the credits. It goes without saying that the Manikin is an absolute nostalgia trip. The mid-2000s don't seem all that long ago to me, but I suppose it was 20 years ago now. That's the same length of time between the airing of that 70s show and the actual 1970s. Aside from my own West Edmonton Mall nostalgia, as a short film, it's pretty okay. They went for a specific style, and with that in mind, they seemed to hit the marks and strides that they were going for. Some of the comedic timing may have fallen a little flat on me, but it's an acceptable production throughout. Having said that, the title, The Manikin, well, for a movie called that, the actual plot has little to do with actually being a mannequin. It's more a story about puppy love. But maybe I'm just being nitpicky here. I am so happy that this film was made. At the time, they probably didn't realize it, and it certainly wasn't the filmmaker's goal, but they accomplished something spectacular, at least to those West Edmonton Mall nostalgics among us. This film, as short as it is, captures a brief snapshot of time, and through its story, brings us all back to an era of marquees, phone booths, video kiosks, and neon. So much neon. And I thank them for it. Check out The Manikin via the link in the description below, and comment with your favorite scene from this awesome little film. If you enjoy my content, I'd very much appreciate any of the likes and shares that you care to offer. My Patreon and channel membership links are in the description below as well. And please check out one of my other videos, mostly about the greatest indoor show on earth, West Edmonton Mall. Oh, and thanks for watching.